Oh, and welcome. Look who it is. Straight from the hills of the east side. It's your girls, Krystle, back with Lifestyles of Love. We're back. I'm Chris.
I'm Vic, and I'm in the boot. I wish I was on the east side of
Right.
Las Vegas. So
Yeah, but you from the east
I am.
hills.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so
Once an
we're
east sider,
back. Here
always
we
an east
are.
sider.
That's right. It's my birthday. So
Yes,
I
happy
need everybody to
birthday.
just collectively sing. Thanks.
Happy birthday.
No, I didn't really mean it. And so today we're here and I have some of my greatest hits with me.
Facts.
Vic's here, obviously. There she is, you see her. And we got old school East Sider.
Yeah.
Montez is here.
East Sider for life.
And then we got our later friend, Jessica. She's here. She flew all the way from LA. It was a long road to get here, but she made it.
Man.
Thank you guys for being here.
Of course.
Thanks for being my friends.
As you do.
I know it's hard,
Thank you for being
but you're welcome.
Thank you for being a friend.
Thank you.
Right.
That's the song I should start with.
Right.
We are. We don't really have any specifics to talk about here. I'm just happy and lucky to be alive. You know.
Amen.
This is
Amen.
the age of me. I feel good, but a lot happened this year. I feel like 2020 was one of those years that felt like a lot happened, but nothing happened. But a lot happened this year.
That's true.
And so,
I think it depends on each person.
Yeah, true. Everybody's 2020 was different. But how you feeling, Vic?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good.
Yeah, it's hitting you.
Yeah.
I
I don't know which one was worse, 2020 or 2021. 2021 was very enlightening for me.
Yes.
How so?
Enlightening. Just really realized changes that I needed to make. And you never really like. People can tell you all the time, and it can kind of dawn on you, like, oh, okay, I could really kind of work on this. But until you really get like sick of your own shit, it's not gonna happen. So I just got sick of my own shit.
True story. Yup. Wow.
So yeah.
But that's fine. That's literally like, yeah, that's literally.
Listen, it's really taken me like 6 years to really like get here to this point.
So are you happy? Are you happy with the point that you're at?
Hell yeah, I'm very happy. I feel very blessed. I feel like
love to hear it.
I think I've had a rough time or whatever, and so did y'all hear that?
What?
Okay, it was my Ring alarm. Okay, I just wanted to see if y'all heard that.
No, we didn't hear it.
And I hurt some people along the way and things like that. So I'm trying to like work through like the guilt of that. I have guilt for other reasons too, and just focus on. I have really changed my outlook, like to stop being so like negative and complaining about stuff. Like over the last couple of weeks, I've really tried to focus like on the positive, and it has really changed like my day. It's changed my day. Like it's crazy how quick that happens, So I'm
so what you're saying is
affirmations
work.
Well, it's like affirmations. It's affirmations, and it's just really realizing that I deserve the things.
Yes,
I deserve
all the things.
And I have to. And I
that's
accept
a hard
it.
one.
I welcome. Yeah, it is. It's been very hard. I accept it. So I accept the things. Give them to me.
Yes. Take them and use them, and yes, and pay that energy forward.
No, absolutely.
Not everybody is there.
Right, and not everybody's there. Like I said, I mean, it took me 6 years, and I made, caused some bumps and bruises like along the way, and I feel terrible for that. At the same time, I can't dwell on that because that's just not a way to live your life. I've had to learn that's just not a way to live your life, and just really focus on. There's not much I can change, so I can't worry about that, which I've always been worried about. Can't worry about that, and that just really like freed me. It freed me, is what it did.
Yes.
So, anyways, girl, but this about you because it's your birthday, bitch.
No, I mean, listen, like, I want to know how people are feeling too, because this is like an end of year birthday.
True.
You know, so before we
It's
start
almost my half day.
making promises to ourselves and shit. Right.
Man. Yeah.
I told myself I was gonna join the gym. It ain't happened yet, but
But you know what? Today is your
I'll
own
get there.
personal New Year's.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. Like, that's what birthday wishes are. They're your own personal resolutions.
yeah, I'm just not a workout person. I feel like the reason why I want to join this particular gym is because they have classes.
Yes, I
It's
love classes.
I want to be able to take a yoga, take a dance,
Mm-hmm.
take a bar. Or, what are they? Now they're dancing and they're doing like hip hop and stilettos.
See, that's a lot.
Hell no. Do you have to sign a waiver?
I took one of
for that
those.
class?
Yes, of course
No.
you do. I'm
well,
sure.
this was in New York at the time, so this was new, but
I can see that.
That was a lot.
Most gyms have you sign a waiver that says you acknowledge
just
that
genuine.
physical activity could kill you. So.
Yeah, that's true. But these women out here.
You know, when you
and
put it
men.
that way, don't put it that way.
I love to
Jen.
see the
Now people
men.
are going to be like, that's right. Yeah, that's a
No,
good
it's
point,
just-
and I'm not going to go to the gym.
Walking down the street can kill you. You gonna not leave? You not get
Exactly.
out
Girl.
of bed?
I mean, any fucking
That's
thing. Did you ever
true.
watch that show, A
Slipping
Thousand
out
Ways
of
to
the
Die?
shower.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, yes. I used to
And
watch
that's
that.
scary.
I
Think
auditioned for that
about.
show.
I didn't watch that. I watched 6 Feet Under.
Oh no.
And at the beginning of every episode of 6 Feet Under, somebody dies, and then that person ends up in the funeral home of the family that the show's about. So then you end up like, but you see them
When
die
did that
at
come
the
on?
beginning of every episode. Oh, it's old. 6 Feet Under. It's an HBO. That was on like when the
Oh,
what's
girl,
that
I
one
got
about the
HBO
men in
Max.
jail? Yeah.
Oz.
Yeah, it was on when Oz was on.
Oh, then it's.
You know what?
It's old.
Have you
Yeah.
watched Oz?
I tried. I feel like it's dated, unfortunately.
Thank you. Yes, I agree with you. I didn't last long because I was like, this wouldn't be shit today, like because it was so controversial
Exactly.
when it came out, and I was like, this ain't shit.
It ain't.
But isn't that kind of
Yeah.
great? Like you can actually measure the evolution of like our society and people in general just by watching things
That's
and
one way to
going,
look at it.
oh, that's not even a big deal anymore. So
Mhm, true.
there's
Yeah.
no point in even watching.
Yeah.
True. But it's the opposite when it's like we were talking about earlier, where these shows don't fly anymore. Like we can't, like Bernie Mac couldn't have a show
Cancel culture.
these days.
Yeah.
Culture is a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
But I've
subscribe
upsetting.
to
It's
that.
sad.
really.
Me neither, but
Yeah, y'all don't subscribe to the cancel culture.
it's not our generation though that has created that cancel culture though anyway, which is probably why we can overlook it because we were watching shows like the Bernie Mac show
Mm-hmm.
and movies like Rush Hour and White Chicks and
But there's
I love
two
White
sides
Chicks.
to it
I watch
because
that
I.
shit at least once a week.
same. It's the White Chicks is hilarious. It will never not be fun.
Girl. Yes.
Classic man.
It will always be funny, but is it funny to white people though?
Does it have to be?
No, it doesn't. But I wonder if it is, or if it's offensive to them.
That's actually
That's a really good question.
That is
But I
a
can't
really good
answer.
Somebody
question.
white
people
write
out
us
there?
and let us know.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Because there also are things in that movie that you can't do. Like that whole scene with them in the car where she's just like, oh, it's just in the song. And you say the N-word. I'm sorry, if you're my white friend and we singing a song and the N-word comes on, you better
Mm-hmm.
Just say jigga.
Oh,
say,
I remember when that
say
was
nothing.
a
You can be like, just think of it as like the Chris Brown, and you sung for your friend. That's one of my favorite.
Nobody's
moments in the
around.
song. It's just like,
Oh, what was
when
that
I really
song?
say the N-word, what's up, my? That better be
Mhm.
you. The second you get to the word, shush.
I don't know.
But if you white, that's the part where all your black friends get a solo.
Mm.
Right. I don't know that. Hold on. Maybe somebody on Facebook can answer this question, and I don't even know yet.
Yeah.
I
I don't know. I think it's.
But do we? I guess
just
the better
want to know.
question
I
is,
just
though-
wonder if it's offensive to them.
Mhm. But that's such a unique question to ask because they television and film created where nobody asked, people
Right.
of color if it was offensive to us.
True
Nobody
that.
asked women if it was offensive to us. So there are
She's
certain
got a
things that if
point.
I'm talking to someone and they're like, well, that's offensive to me, and it's like, but that's all about Black female power. So I don't know.
Reparations.
Like How to Get Away with Murder. Some people find that show offensive, and I'm like,
what show?
How to
Really?
Get Away with Murder. Yeah,
Why?
I had a whole conversation with somebody about it, and they were just like, I just feel like they're glamorizing this whole situation. And I was like, you, first of all, ain't watched enough episodes. First of all. Second of all, like, the show is about
when has murder in the United States of America, when has murder not been glamorized?
Right.
Yes.
Even the OJ trial glamorized.
Girl, yes.
Serial killers,
Yes.
Jeffrey Dahmer, people still glamorize his
How
life.
many shows have they made just recently about, what's the other one? Not Jeffrey Dahmer, but the other one that was kidnapping the girls. And,
Ted Bundy?
Ted Bundy. How many things have we seen about him in just the last 5 years? It's consistent.
You're right.
Yeah, let's let them fade into oblivion and let's, talk about their victims.
No, you're right.
But
I feel like what about Dexter? I mean,
true crime shows?
Dateline. I mean,
Dateline.
I love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying it's glamorized on Dateline.
It's Dateline. I was gonna say
Dateline is like a prime time show.
Yeah,
where people
about
ready to watch somebody die, and it's like it's a little offensive
because there's twists and turns in the cases, and you're just like, human beings are terrible.
They really are.
My biggest thing is is the family offended?
Yeah,
that's always my biggest thing because and not to get anyone's feathers ruffled, but using it just to use it as an example, the Aaliyah movie, when the family publicly spoke out about it and said, we hate the script, we disagree with the story, we do not like the way our child who is passed is being portrayed, and then they decided to make it anyway. I actually really appreciated Zendaya for doing what a lot of celebrities don't, which was she made a conscious decision to say, I am no longer going to associate myself with this project, and she was cast as Aaliyah because the family does not agree with it. So there is a point where, and it's one of the flip side, I guess, of the coin of cancel culture that I kind of, to an extent, I respect, is that if people are consciously saying, hey, you're taking something from our media and the way that you're altering it to fit you is disrespectful to us, and we don't want you to, that's offensive. There's a lot of examples, specifically with Asian cinema. That's one of the biggest example where people will, America, let me stop saying people. America will take their stories and they will whitewash it. And then you have a lot of Asian actors, Asian producers, Asian writers, they're kind of speaking out and saying, hey, it's offensive for you guys to take our movie that is, all about us and decide that you're going to cast an all-white cast and you're going to cast a couple of Asians in the background and completely change. And then when they speak out about it, having the actors and the producers and the writers say, oh, but and they give whatever BS reason, but it's like, at what point do you take responsibility for this piece of work that I'm about to put out there in the world forever? Because it's never going to die. Even if it's crap, it might go slightly into obscurity, but it's never going to die. I'm about to put this out in the world knowing that it offends an entire culture or the people that I'm talking about or the family that it's about. At what point do you take a step back and say, me as an artist, I'm not going to take that on myself.
But then as an artist too, don't you feel like you have to tell a story sometimes? And you're going to piss people off. Does it matter whether it's the family of, that subject or not, or, if it's just anybody who...
I think that's where a lot of other people... A lot of people come on the other side and they're like, well...
But when I think about the story, I don't think, and this is probably because of you and knowing all the things that you've been in the industry, I don't think of the actor of the story. I think of whoever's writing the script. They're the ones telling the story, setting the mood, all that good stuff. But that would lead me into the whole controversy when Zoe Saldana played Nina Simone and how they had to darken her skin. And that seems to be a consistent conversation with the Black community as far as when they're going to play a character, right? A historical character or whatever type of famous figure, and it winds up being a light-skinned actor as opposed to a dark-skinned actor. And what we think about that. I really feel with the Zoe situation, I felt like if you had to add makeup to make her look dark. That was it was a no then. It should have been a no.
It's blackface.
Or just leave her as she is.
As she is and let her play it.
Exactly.
Well, with that one, I was mad because, especially Zoe, she's very proudly Colombian,
correct,
Spanish heritage. Mm-hmm. She should have said no to that. She should not have done that.
She shouldn't have been cast as that shit.
She shouldn't have. You're right.
Agreed.
But I agree with you. What you're saying.
But if they had done she should have just turned it down and been like, "I'm not going to do this. Thank you for the opportunity." Because on the other hand, if they started to do a Celia Cruz or a nice Gloria Estefan and they cast a black girl, y'all gonna be mad.
Yep.
Or cast a white girl.
Yeah.
Y'all are gonna be mad, as you should be. So,
well, even with Selena, people were upset that J-Lo was cast as Selena because people were like, I mean, she's Hispanic, but she's the wrong kind.
Right. She's Puerto Rican.
She's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
So,
but that
she did a good job. I will say.
Right. She did a good job. Forever.
She did.
Forever.
Which then that becomes another conversation because there's also a lot of examples of that. And, like Selma, a lot of people had an issue with their casting of Martin Luther King Jr. because it was a British actor. And I was like, but his performance was wonderful.
See,
and if you really look at what the production went through for that film to even happen, if he was not playing that character, truthfully, that movie never would have happened.
But
and I don't think a lot of people know that.
It's actually interesting that you say that because I did come across an article that was talking about why do we keep giving actors, European actors, like, from London, giving jobs to play American roles. What's wrong with the American actor? And I was just, I didn't realize
that's a whole rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's a whole
It is. It really is.
Because it is. And the only reason it's an issue is because the opposite doesn't happen.
Correct.
And we as Americans have to train and learn all these dialects and accents too, but they won't cast us.
Yeah.
That's why the dude that played House had to go in and pretend he had to pretend he was American.
Because their intention was
process of audition.
Wow.
Because they didn't want to cast a Brit. Or he was just afraid they wouldn't cast him.
No, they actually, the
Who else
could
have played House?
Okay. There you go.
Nobody
Who could have played House that was American?
Nobody.
See, but then that's when you get it, and that becomes part of the bigger conversation because if the performance is amazing,
he did.
Is that enough for you to overlook certain things? And that becomes the double-edged sword of it.
Absolutely.
Can you say this person should have been a no, but this person should have been a yes?
I have somebody.
Who?
Bryan Cranston.
Oh,
he could have played House.
Okay.
From
it would have been a very unique House.
From Malcolm in the Middle, Dad, the freaking movie, the freaking show.
Yeah. The drugs one.
Breaking Bad.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
It took me a minute.
He would have been a very.
You know what?
It would have just been a different House than we know. That's all.
Yeah, he could have did it.
I know, but
it just would be a different House than we know.
He owned it.
It gave him a permanent link.
And that's why he got the role, because he owned it. And not that he should
look at
have, but he should have been able to go in as a British actor and been like, I can do it.
Yeah. But there are examples, too, of American actors getting cast in classically British roles and, people being in uproar, like Bridget Jones. Bridget Jones' Diary is a great example. Everybody was very upset that they did not cast, a Brit. And then when you see the performance, though, everybody kind of had to go, okay, we're going to be quiet now.
Yeah.
Right. But is that the same thing as you casting totally outside of the race that it should be? Like in the Peter Pan movie, you casting Tiger Lily as a white girl. It's like, is that the same thing? Zoe Saldana having to blackface her to play this role, is that the same thing?
Yeah.
And I think that's where the conversation is different.
Well, some people
it is
were
different.
upset about, like, recently, the King Richard. Obviously, Will Smith is amazing. We all know. Obviously. But because
I haven't seen
the
it yet, so
dad
I
is
can't
this
say it.
very dark-skinned man, and because he has this limp from being beat by the cops. Not that that couldn't happen to somebody who was Will Smith's complexion, but a lot of people, the black people, were in an uproar at first when they first heard that he was playing him, because they were like, "Why don't you cast Idris? Why don't you cast somebody dark skinned to portray?"
But Idris is British,
man
also,
with dark skinned children, right? And he's right.
But not only that, though, because when we're talking about Zoe, like you said, it's also about the heritage of it. Like, Will Smith is through and through a black man.
Black.
So he,
Like, he
can
grew
still
up a black man. So he is able to relate to the character in general. if that makes sense.
Exactly.
So,
That's
but
true.
yeah, especially
We get caught up in the look. We get caught up in the
But
look
even
of it.
even what she's saying about the Asian culture, like if it's a story about Asian people, like this white person literally cannot relate. They did not grow up this way. They
But
have not experienced these things.
the look of the Asians that they put in these movies is very whitewashed.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
that's a whole
100%.
other conversation because
100%.
we only get
There's
to
some
see
very
light-skinned
dark-skinned
Asians.
Asians,
There's
and I
no
never
dark-skinned
fucking
Asians
see
that
them.
are kind of
Yeah, we were
front
just talking
lines.
about this morning.
Yeah,
There are
which
some
that
dark
would
skin,
be
but they don't even. Well, Jessica was saying like they don't even associate the other countries with Asia
like
to say they're
Cambodia is
Asian, like
beautiful,
Cambodia,
like,
Indonesia, right?
Yeah, like there's a lot of countries where there are these darker skinned Asian actors, and it's the same thing. It's like Crazy Rich Asians. You didn't see any of them.
Not a one.
Right.
Not, that movie was good, but it was
I like
extremely
that movie.
washed.
Yeah.
It was extremely
I
I actually love I would love some Asian people to kind of comment on that because I would be very curious to see like what are your thoughts?
You know, I really, and I hope this isn't offending anybody, but I realized this year that I don't have enough Asian friends. And I don't know.
See, one of my best friends is Cambodian, and that's something that me and her talk a lot about in the cinema.
But I'm wondering if that's a regional thing, or if it's an artist thing, or if it's
Maybe it's just an opportunity thing. It might have just been an opportunity in life.
Do you have a lot of Asian friends? Vic?
No, but I don't. It doesn't bother me.
That I worked with them.
Oh yeah, the Filipinas.
So
And see, I do have, because my best friend, she's one of my best friends. She's Cambodian, but I actually have a lot of Korean friends. But that also came from me. I worked at a Korean movie theater. I worked for CGV Cinemas. And
I mean, I feel like we grew up with Asians for sure. Like there were Asians
We did.
around.
Yeah.
But
I feel like
I'm
we
trying to think
grew
of
up
like
with
a close Asian.
wide
Vanessa?
variety.
Do you feel bad about that though? Like I don't feel bad about it.
I don't feel bad about it. I just wonder.
Okay.
Oh, it's
You
just an
know?
observation.
I'm like,
It's
there's
an
no
observation.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Because I guess especially this year, like I've just had a lot of questions that I've wanted to ask Asian people off the record, and I haven't had anybody to ask.
But you know what?
I
The
just
flip
wanna
side of
know.
that, I think, also happens to a lot of other people. Because I think that especially when, BLM was happening and it was at its height, there were a lot of people who were like, I don't really have any friends I can call and be like, hey, can I talk to you about this?
Yeah,
And it's like, that's also okay.
it's so okay. Listen, I don't discriminate.
As long as you're not consciously saying, I'm not
Asian
going to be friends
men,
with
I'm-
you because of
I'm with it.
Okay. You want a blazing baby?
I'm interested in an Asian babe. If you're looking. So,
I take my little red card all over the
Like
First
an
of all,
Andrew
us.
from Insecure?
exactly. Because first of all, we're both at the bottom of the damn pool. So why don't we just
Oh
love
my
and swim
God.
together? Okay.
You're so silly.
How about that?
Andrew he was so.
Yeah.
Insecure?
Did you watch Insecure?
Season. I didn't watch this.
I haven't started watching
I
it yet, so
started it.
nobody give any spoilers. Nobody's. Don't talk.
Spoiler, girl.
That's not fair. It's my birthday.
Woman,
I want to talk about Insecure.
I haven't seen it.
I'm sorry.
Are you still
No,
gonna
you're
watch it
not.
though? I would still watch it. I let Krystle give me spoilers all the time because I know I'm still gonna watch it.
There aren't any spoilers.
There's
no spoilers. It's the same shit going on.
Make sure
Is
you're
Rose still there?
not sleeping
That's
when you're
gonna be
watching the
maybe.
first couple episodes.
Well, he did just call,
Mm-hmm.
but she didn't answer. So no, he ain't in it.
I don't know what happened with Andrew and Molly. That was the cliffhanger of last season.
No, it
No, that was
wasn't,
a clear breakup.
Yeah.
They actually did.
What did you think that
I
conversation
thought
was?
that because he said, "What do you want from this relationship?" and then it stopped.
And she
you
didn't
never
have any.
saw
No,
the
it didn't
answer.
stop. There was a pause
episode
of on her face of her
Yeah, but
blinking
there's a
out,
pause.
and no answer is an answer.
But then they never went back to her to say anything.
That
so I
is
was
true.
Like, oh, are they gonna pick up
But
this
you could
moment in
tell
next season? Like
From
No.
from the conversation, I could tell that Andrew was done. Whether
I
or
guess
not
he
he
was done
done
eating.
I could tell that he was done. Yeah.
He called her. He was like, he didn't say the words breaking up, but he was done.
Molly did not,
And he was trying to figure out what she was fighting for because she could clearly see it too, but wasn't saying it.
I was just so
and really for Molly, it was just another failure that she just didn't want to own up to, or that's what she felt like. I should say. It wasn't
That's true.
necessarily a failure because
I mean,
relationships start and end all the time. But
It was
Yeah.
so good
But
for
also-
her, I thought.
But that's what I said. She did not deserve him, and she really wasn't even in a place in her life to be able to accept all that he had to offer. Like she just wasn't there yet.
She couldn't appreciate it.
After the family
That's what-
vacation, I was
She
a
can
bit
do for
like,
herself.
ooh, where's
Correct.
this gonna go?
Correct.
Because
Yeah,
the family
that was
vacation
cringe.
happened, and that was a moment where I was
So
like, okay, they're
cringe.
either gonna evolve Molly past this moment, and they're gonna stay together, or she's not gonna be able to move past this moment, and he's not gonna know if he can continue with her.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
That was it.
Mm-hmm.
That was the cliffhanger that I felt like they left us with.
It wasn't a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I didn't-
It was a breakup.
All my dreams.
Unfortunately,
The
we don't
cliffhanger
get
they
the
left
answer
us
anymore.
with was Issa and Morris.
Oh,
that was the
yeah, that was the
cliffhanger.
it was kind of like, he's having a baby with another woman. But see, that goes back to my own.
Yeah, but they're in love.
Whatever's.
What do you do when the person you're in love with is about to have a baby with somebody else? That was the cliffhanger.
What do you do?
Exactly.
What do you do?
Child,
No,
I'm
I'm
actually
actually
asking.
asking. Krystle. Yeah, Krystle, what do you do?
Krystle, what do you do?
Personally, if we're in love, I'm riding with you. We're gonna figure this thing out because love is a rare thing.
Okay, so let me ask you this: if the circumstances, though, like let's say you've just fallen in love, like let's say you guys have been maybe together for, and I mean talking stage all the way through established relationship, it's only been a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then you, at some point, it's 6 months in, you were like, okay, we need a break. Let's take a step back, reevaluate. That's when you got the other person pregnant, not knowing. Now you guys are back together. So another 6 months has passed, and now the news has hit. You're still ride or die?
Look, was it my fault we broke up?
Does that matter?
I think it does.
Oh.
It was my fault.
Okay. Okay.
Why
so
does
if
that
it's his
matter?
fault,
If I cheated and created the rift in the relationship that he was unable to overcome, and so we broke up, and then he had his life.
You know what? That's a valid point
It
because
is.
that is relevant to
That is.
Lawrence.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If I was the one that created the rift or created the break, how can I come back and judge you? That's why I get upset with this show when I say it all the time. I'm like, they don't fight for the relationship. Issa was in it for a long time and couldn't get out of it in the first season. Like, she didn't want to break up with him even though he wasn't doing shit. Then she cheated. Then he finds out. Then they break up. Now he's out doing his thing, fine. But then he calls her a hoe in the street. I will never get over it. But
same.
Did she deserve it a little? She didn't deserve to be called a hoe. Absolutely not. She deserved to get cussed out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I actually appreciated the way they did it because that actually mimics what usually happens in real life.
Agreed.
People stay in a relationship that is truthfully not progressing unhappily because they don't know how to tell the other person, hey, this ain't popping. And then one night, 1 week moment, whatever you want to call it, you make a mistake and then the mistake comes out. But then it's like, we got to open up a whole ass can of worms. Like, why were we both unhappily playing house and bullshitting ourselves for so long? And I appreciated that they actually took 3 seasons to get to the point where they had that talk about you were just as uninvested as I was. Right. You didn't cheat, and I give you that. But you didn't want me either.
But I don't think Lawrence realized it, though. If we go back to the first season.
No, I don't.
I don't think he was truly unhappy necessarily with her. Maybe with himself, and he was just in denial about, like,
I think he was
depressed. But exactly. But I think he could have just kept going. And it was interesting because I see that Issa at times, like, maybe felt bad for him. And so she was trying not to, like, bruise his ego and, like, what does he have besides me? So I'm going to stay. But then she did the ultimate thing to his ego and fucking cheated. So, it's crazy.
And it's hard to get cheated on.
Daniel was fine, though.
No matter what gender you are or who you are, it's hard to get cheated on and come back from that shit with confidence and, like, the relationship. So it all made sense why it happened. But then y'all have this great conversation. You decide you love each other. You decide you're going to do it. This wrench gets thrown in. Obviously, it's devastating especially, that's another thing. You saw how devastated Lawrence was, having to tell her that. It wasn't like he went over there like, sorry, boo, this happened.
Yeah.
He was devastated.
I gave it to him that he actually told her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I will, admit that I was in a situation one time with a guy, and he just ghosted me. Straight up. And, like, we were legitimately dating. Like, nothing was wrong. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he just stopped talking to me, stopped texting me. I even called him and left him, like, some voicemails apologizing for whatever I did. And then 2 years later, when I was in a relationship now with somebody else, I bumped into him. And I was like, it was the weirdest moment because I was like, I don't know if I should slap you or
disrespect
or ignore you. But then when we talked about it, it turned out he got somebody pregnant. And I was like, but why did it make the most sense to you to just ghost me instead of just saying, hey, before I ever knew you, I slept with somebody at a party and she tracked me down.
Because this obviously looks bad. It looks bad as a man.
It don't look great, but it looks worse than you ghosting.
I mean, it doesn't look any better if you were to come to him and be like, I got pregnant before I met you.
Correct, but men are so emotionally stunted that I always go back to the thought, like,
girl,
he wasn't ready to process his own emotions about it, much less bring you into it and have to be dealing with your emotions on top of it all. So yes, that's why the default is to ghost, because he doesn't even know what the fuck he's gonna do.
But at the same time, it's like me and you are like, and not that you owe me something, because I will say this, in his defense, we did not have a title. Okay. We didn't say like, oh, I'm your girlfriend, you're my boyfriend. But it's like me and you have been monogamously dating each other for months. Yeah. So isn't that like, it's not the ultimate commitment. It's not like you put a ring on my finger.
But it's something.
Like, we're committed to each other in a way.
And at the base of it, a friendship, right?
Yes. And it's like,
so
we were so cool.
More than anything, more than it's bearing your business or making yourself look stupid. It's, I'm going to make a considerate move. But maybe he thought that was the considerate move.
That's true.
And that was the thing.
Like, don't drag this person into my drama. Now I gotta explain all this.
So you just leave?
Don't feel bad.
And that was pretty much what he said, is he was just like, I didn't know how to say anything, so I stopped talking to you for a minute, because I was like, okay, let me figure out how to say it, and every way that I rehearsed it in my head didn't sound great. So then the more and more time that passed, all of a sudden I didn't know how to call you. And I was like, okay, well, that was 2 years ago. I guess how's the baby? And it turned out it wasn't even his. And I was me, based on my own ish, when I was watching that moment in Insecure, I was like, he's gonna ghost her. And then when he told her, like low key. And then when he told her, I was like, oh, okay, they could go somewhere. I don't know if I could do that, but they can go somewhere.
The question is, and I know you're not in it yet, but you can just ask it, or you can answer it hypothetically. Do you think? Okay, because at the end of last season, he got this job offer, right?
Yeah.
We're all happy for him. So spoiler, he does take the job. But the point is, he's in Northern California now, right?
Yeah.
Should he, if he plans on moving back to LA to take care of his baby, should he tell Issa? What do you think? That he moved back.
That he moved back?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Like if they're no longer contact, yeah. Is that the right thing to do? He doesn't
owe it to her, but it would be courteous. Would be my answer.
Considerate, right?
Yeah, it would be considerate. You know, I think that would be the courteous adult thing to do, would be just to tell me so that I don't find out and it's a surprise.
See, that's having expectations on other people. And
but that being said,
when that happens.
Yeah, but that being said, if me and you aren't together and we're not involved, you also don't owe me that.
Right.
So it becomes a personal question for the person dealing with that situation. But it's inevitable. If you don't tell that person, y'all gonna run into each other at Starbucks.
But also, if he tells her, is that giving her the idea that he's moving back for her, as opposed to what he's truly moving back for? Does that make sense?
But wouldn't he?
If I heard that, I would think for a second. I would think a part of it is if you bothered to tell.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. If he went out of his way to call her and be like, "I wanted to let you know I'm moving back," then automatically you're spinning. Okay,
I'm gonna spin that.
Obviously, the kid, but now this is me.
And see, that's funny, because I would think, like, if someone called me and said that and said I'm moving back for the kid, I would be like, okay, cool, you're telling me because we still have similar friends. So you're basically giving me a heads up, hey, you might see me.
So you're not going to go down that rabbit hole at all, though? Like, he must be telling me because...
I wouldn't. Like, my brain just wouldn't go there. Okay. I would be like, okay, you're just telling me.
Definitely would.
So so when our mutual friends have a shindig, if I don't want to see you, I know to ask, like, yo, did you invite Lawrence? They aren't. So that, I mean, if you were going out of your way to consider me to say, hey, just FYI, I'm moving back to take care of my kid, I would be like, you're telling me because we might bump into each other. Okay, thank you for telling me. That would be where my mind would go.
That's because you would think to do or say something like that.
Go ahead, Big.
What happens if dude moves back and then you find out through the grapevine he's back, and then you're like, why this motherfucker ain't call me?
I would feel that way. I'm like, damn.
But
that's like a double.
What if you're the one that ended it? do you have the right to feel like,
Okay, if I ended it, then no, I don't have the right to feel anything. If I wasn't the person.
But what
who
if you ended it because they left?
Ooh. That's plot thickens.
I would feel some kind of way. I'm logical enough to tell myself we're not involved. You
Yeah.
don't owe me that, but that's rude a little.
Like, what if that
Right.
was, you
If
know,
that's the
thing?
context,
And it's like,
I would feel some kind of way because I would be like,
You ain't gonna tell me
if we only ended because you moved to London, why wouldn't you
And now
tell
you're
me
coming
that
back.
today?
You raggedy motherfucker.
But also, you already told me about somebody pregnant.
You got
What
somebody
did you
pregnant.
say?
I said, you raggedy motherfucker.
Yeah, because if our breakup had nothing to do with the fact that you got somebody pregnant when we weren't together, but it actually had everything to do with the fact that you moved locationally to a place that was not conducive to us creating the life that we wanted to together, and then you moved back, you might even get a knock on the door.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so is anybody watching Harlem?
No.
I like it. I like it.
What is it on?
It's on Amazon. Amazon Prime.
Oh,
Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm.
This is like
It's
a
like
black
a
living single
Sex
Sex
and
and the
the
City
Yeah.
in Harlem.
Oh.
I like it though.
The chick from Empire that was like,
I'll be honest.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was her. Boo Boo Kitty or whatever.
Boo
Yeah,
Boo Kitty.
I didn't realize.
Boo Kitty.
I'll be
She looks
honest,
better
I
with
did
hair.
not
I
watch
like her better
Empire.
with hair.
I watched Empire like the first two or three
Girl,
seasons.
Jesse,
and then it
your
was
boy
a wrap.
Jesse.
Jesse, girl,
Oh,
yes,
yes.
We
let's
had a
talk
whole
about it. Let's talk
conversation about
it.
him the other day.
Listen,
Jesse
Juicy.
Smollett.
Okay. Yes.
First and foremost, let me say, Jesse Smollett was convicted of
Yep.
lying.
Ugh.
Of what was it? What was this charge?
It was like 5 or
All
6
crimes.
felony charges.
I don't know. There were a bunch.
Jesus.
Falsifying a police report, lying to the police,
Faking a hate crime or something like that.
faking a hate crime.
Yeah.
He got up on that stage and told it like it was true though. He was like, "It wasn't me. I'm mad as hell. They didn't broadcast this fucking trial. First of all, I'm mad. Why didn't we get to see that? This was primetime television. Okay, but we didn't get to see R. Kelly either. That's fine. So I saw Journey there. Journey was there. She kept her mask on, obviously, and all the pictures they were drawing of him on the stand didn't look like him. I don't know what that was about, but these guys this was my thing. First of all, Don Lemon is an accessory to a lot of this, unfortunately. Don Lemon was the one who texted Jussie to say they don't believe your story.
Oh.
The police are going to contact you. They don't believe your story. So that's when Jussie decided he wasn't going to give over his phone to the cops because he was not.
He texted him that.
I don't know if he texted him or had a phone call or whatever, but he told him that.
Listen,
He wasn't being like when you go along with something.
Oh, like
an accessory.
Yeah, he wasn't being cooperative. They asked him for his phone. They were asking for emails and text messages. He was like, "Oh, you guys are MAGA cops. I don't trust you." And this is all Don Lemon told him this. Okay, so Don Lemon might come up with this a little later. But for now,
see,
it was enough because he was basically saying that he was trying to say that these guys planned this crime, like kind of with him, but then did it to him. Mm-hmm. This is what he was trying to spin.
How does that work?
Right. That's what the jury was like. How do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
They had
like a plagiarized
camera footage. Yeah.
Like he was saying, like that they were in on it, like they knew what the plan was,
and then they went ahead without him and did it themselves, as if it was a plot. Yeah, to him, even though it was his idea. They had video footage of Jussie in the car with these guys driving by the place a couple times before. They have video footage of that. And then I was like, but even if you don't give your phone over to the cops, these guys have phones too that were receiving the messages. So,
and honestly,
you're gonna get found out.
If the police came knocking on my door and this was a whole bizarre situation where I got paid to come and slap you in the face, and it was supposed to be this thing that was all over TMZ, and then somehow it got blown way out of proportion, and you ain't being cooperative with the cops, but the cops showing up at my house talking about you could go to jail for a hate crime. You damn right I'm giving up my phone.
Listen, and let this be a lesson. Hold on. Let this be a lesson, please. Let this be a lesson. If I ain't never said nothing else, I said,
okay.
do your dirt the fuck alone.
Oh,
right.
Do your dirt alone.
Don't be getting people with you in on it.
And if you do, you gotta eliminate them.
No
people
coding.
Right. Well, you gotta pay them to the fuck up.
No,
or pay them to get the hell out of Dodge.
Agreed.
And also, he didn't commit to his own whatever. I'm like, go all the way if you gonna do this ish.
Right.
Nope, okay.
But what was the motivation?
I'm still trying to understand.
I still can't understand because I'm like, okay, let's just say that he is clearly not mentally stable.
Okay. Clearly.
What was the goal of this, though? Is there a goal?
Okay. The only thing I can come up with is publicity. His character on that show didn't have as many lines anymore.
But there's so many different routes to go to get
there
publicity.
are.
Like, geez.
That's the only thing I could come up with either was I was just like, I almost feel like he did this because he may have been afraid that he was about to get written off the show.
Yeah.
And then that would make the network and the
sympathy.
producers and the writers all dicks if he really was
and think about
a victim of a hate crime and then he got written off of his own show.
We're freaking out. We're so upset. I mean,
and we're coming in as
celebrities.
Like,
okay, yes, coming in for. I mean, he did us all.
He did.
We all were like, "Oh hell no! We're marching in the streets for Justice Smollett. This is not.
And we want those people found.
Yeah.
We want them to go to jail.
He said they were white.
Right.
He said they had MAGA hats. He said they had a noose around his neck. I mean, my God.
And it wasn't even just like a hate crime towards him being part of the LGBTQ plus community.
No.
This was also a black hate crime.
Black hate.
So you're talking about all of these communities coming together and saying, heck to the no, we are standing against whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah.
Only for all of us to be like, this shit didn't happen and you made it up.
This ain't a reality TV show, bro.
Right.
And you ain't a producer. What are you doing?
And also you hurt the cause of everybody in the process.
Yes.
That hard.
Like that, this whole moment was so much bigger than him. It had it been real, that it was like the fact that it was fake hurt so many people that actually were victims of things like that.
And they're probably, and that was another reason because they wasted all those resources, all the man hours. There's probably somebody who that actually was happening to while he was faking it, who will never
needed help,
or who died,
or the next person that it happens to, the person that it actually happens
everyone's
to.
Everyone's gonna look at it
next. Exactly, because white people eating this shit the fuck up. This is such
oh
an
God,
effort.
Fox News is all over this.
Oh God,
girl, yes.
It was so.
It is
they're
so
mad.
It was terrible.
But then it also goes to further prove how
this.
fucked up and how how much inequality there is in this country too. Because the white boy just got off Rittenhouse, and now they talking about giving.
And now this motherfucker he's on social media talking about fuck LeBron.
But you know what? It's funny too because Jesse, everybody's mad that he lied and whatever, and he's gonna pay for that. He's gonna pay for his crimes for lying.
I think,
thinking back to any white person that's ever lied to get a black person in trouble,
right?
Yep.
Where are the repercussions? Yep. They wind up getting out and they wind up being free, like the Central Park 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they have their lives back to some extent. But that part, but Donald Trump literally didn't have to have any repercussions for printing that whole ad to basically say, like, kill these 5. This motherfucker was the president of the United States. Like, that's my thing. Like,
there is an imbalance in that.
And that's why the justice system works for who it was intended to work for.
Right.
Yeah. Say that.
Because I really wonder what's going to happen to Kyle Rittenhouse. I mean, I think he's probably going to turn into a celebrity over there.
They're trying to make him.
And he's going to feel like he's entitled to say whatever he wants now. He can do whatever he wants. I'm curious to see if he's gonna be out in public with a gun though.
Jesus.
Because I really think he's gonna get smacked. He's gonna get smacked. Somebody's gonna smack the shit out of him.
Could you see him going into a political office?
Oh yeah. Tucker Carlson and Matt Gaetz was already like, oh yeah, maybe we'll have him be an intern or whatever, and he was dead serious.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump, he'll do it. He'll be like, Kyle Rittenhouse is my assistant.
That is a good point.
He's a great
He's a great American.
He's a great kid.
The trial started for the cop that accidentally killed the kid. She thought it was a taser.
Oh, okay. Oh, I had forgotten about that. Yeah.
That is such a complicated one.
Mhm.
Because if you've seen the video, the one thing I'll say is like, it doesn't make it okay because at the end of the day, somebody died that didn't need to, but she genuinely made a mistake.
You know, say taser. She said it.
But that's what they have to prove, and that's what's going to be so difficult is they have to prove her intent instead of
to kill him.
Correct.
And I don't think it actually was. She was training somebody, training them on what side is which is kind of strange how you forget while you're training. But you know, when you are training somebody, like you might forget to do something that you know you're supposed to do.
And maybe also because it becomes like, just from my own experience of training people, there are things that are such muscle memory that I don't even think about, and then now I have to say it out loud, and it becomes jumbled.
So
and
I
also,
actually
she's probably more used to drawing a gun than she is probably to drawing a taser. So I don't know.
When you see the video, it's like it's so clearly a gun in your hand. You didn't look at your own hand. You know what I'm saying? Like it really is going to be hard.
It's going to be hard, but that is one of those weird situations where I'm like, that is a different situation than all the others, than a lot of all the other situations. Yeah, because it's like, but what I'm saying is that is her situation is so different than all of these other ones that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and so
I don't. The girlfriend was on the stand. She was the witness and she was in the car. She couldn't really get through it without crying, but she was talking about how he got shot and drove off.
Yeah.
He immediately got into an accident, right? And then she was trying to like hold down the blood. She's like, I don't know what I grabbed. I grabbed something and I was just trying to put it on his chest. But then you see the video where they're pointing guns at her inside the car because nobody understands what just happened. Nobody knows that he was shot back there because they were like, shots fired. It was all these, just saw a video, all these cops showed up to the scene and everybody was confused. Everybody's like, wait, where they were down there, shots fired. There's no gun in the car. Like, we don't understand how shots are fired, but he's clearly shot. And the girl's in there and they're drawing their guns on her, telling her to get out of the car. But she's like literally holding the bloody hole.
She's keeping him from dying.
So it was a whole fucked up thing.
But also he was resisting arrest and he was fleeing. He did the wrong thing. Like his actions also need to kind of be taken into account. And that does not mean in any way, shape, or form saying that he deserved what happened to him. Absolutely. But there's also something different when you are not resisting. Because my biggest issue with, cops and the justice system and the people who die is like, if I am fully complying with everything you're saying and everything you're telling me to do, and I'm literally doing that, and I get shot, there's a problem.
Yes.
If I am fighting you and resisting arrest and fleeing, it is a bit of a different situation. He still should not have gotten shot.
Let him go.
I have an issue with it because at the end of the day, it still comes down to color because white people are have you ever watched Cops? Like, me and Adrian love watching it because it's so much fuckery, right? But these white people will do the fucking most. They will have a gun already drawn, and somehow they still get to walk away. If with nothing else, their life. They might get arrested. They might go down to the station. But for the most part, they're probably just walking away and somebody's talking to them. They punched the cop at this point. They've been on the ground tussling with them. So it's like,
necessary force does change based on race, and I agree.
It can never just be like,
Ebony's here.
I was following all the rules. And so this. What I will say is, on the cop side, hi, hey,
I can't say hi.
Hi.
Oh my God, it's Ebony.
I mean, it's unfortunate that she didn't just tase him, because had she tased him, the whole thing would have stopped.
I just don't think she needed to tase him at all. I think let him. You're a cop. You have his license.
Yes.
You got a cop car right here. Just follow the dude. You're gonna find him.
Well,
but they be trying to be hero in the moment.
And I want to know, and if someone is a cop that's listening right now, I would love to know, what is the protocol in that specific situation?
They're all different. For different.
I know. I try to have my cop friend on the show every week.
I'm gonna ask my brother about it. My brother's a cop, so I'm gonna ask him about it because I just want to know. That's my main question: is like, what is the protocol when you have somebody in this situation?
But even
trying in the car,
what are you supposed to do? even with protocol, at the end of the day, you're still human, right?
Yeah.
And you're in a highly volatile situation. And that's where the department fucks up, and they don't teach how to react in these volatile situations. So then you're just falling back on instinct. You're just falling back on instinct in that point. And sometimes, and with this situation, I would say, like, that maybe is kind of what happened with this lady. Not in a lot of the other situations. Because sometimes those motherfuckers just trigger happy. But,
sorry, Ebony, we went on a tangent of racial injustice.
On your birthday.
Yes!
That made me think about Set It Off.
What?
Oh, Lord.
What's
Love
the
that movie.
procedure?
What's the fucking procedure when you gotta go here?
But that is so
See, I knew she was going to act it out. That's why I said that. I knew she was getting ready to act that shit out.
Man.
Because that's a real life
Vivica.
situation, though. She knows the procedure, but when you got a real life gun to your head, you ain't reaching for nothing.
Right. How's your day?
You know what? So my parents were out here recently, and they ended up leaving 2 days late because of the fog here, which I really didn't know was a thing. So they were like stranded here. So anyway, so my dad, they flew Southwest. So my dad they were at the airport. My dad went to the counter and was talking to the lady, but things were getting kind of aggressive. I mean, you're like, they basically, like, the whole time I was at work, these motherfuckers was at the airport type shit. Like, they did a shift at work. I was like, shit, y'all could have clocked the fuck in.
Oh my God.
Right. It was absurd. It was such a mess. So anyway, so the lady, so he was saying something to her, like, he's trying to figure out, like, what the fuck is going on and all these things. And she claimed that he threatened her, which my dad is not that kind of man. And I was like, and that's why I told him to. She was a black lady, and my dad looks like he's white, right? So I said, I bet you she said that shit to you because you're white. Because I know him, like, as a man, like, he's not gonna threaten nobody.
Of course he's not gonna threaten a woman.
He's not gonna threaten a woman,
not.
especially at the fucking airport.
Especially in the South.
Right.
People get reckless at the airport, and it always throws me off because I'm like,
but it was the fact that she had said that to him, like,
something crazy.
But it was the fact that she said that, because I'm like, what if something would happen to my fucking dad? Because you over here mad at the fucking world at your job, bitch, and you don't talk about my daddy threatening me, which I know I wasn't there, but I know he wouldn't do that shit. So
no, of course
that made me mad. That made me so
She
mad.
was not having a good
That's
day.
when character witness comes into play.
She wasn't having a good day.
And I can understand that, because I was like, at the same time, like, everybody, like, y'all ain't flying out nobody. But somehow they did, because my parents' luggage left on a flight to Houston while they were stuck. It was a mess. It was such a
So
fucking
how
mess.
did that happen?
I don't know.
A plane left.
Right. That's what my dad
And it got there.
And it got to Houston.
Right. Because I was like, you know what? At least y'all are safe.
These
If
airlines.
motherfuckers can't see, then there don't need to be no planes in the air. So
Mm-hmm.
I was just happy that they were safe. But how the fuck does the luggage leave? But I'm glad that it did, and then to get like fucked up somewhere, because my dad had chitlins in his.
No. Absolutely.
Stop.
Not chitlins.
I swear.
Stop
Let me tell you
it.
something. Because there's no chitlins in Las Vegas, and so I had bought them 2 packs.
Thank God.
Seasonal.
There are chitlins in Las Vegas, but
They couldn't find them, and they don't like the bucket. I don't eat that shit, okay? But they don't like the buckets. They're really particular. They like the package ones. And they still got to clean and all that stuff, whatever. And then my dad's looking for some damn liver cheese, which is also called goose liver, y'all. My cousin finally found it for him. Y'all eat that shit?
Who's what?
No.
Goose liver?
Okay. Goose liver. So that was in.
It's like a pate.
That was in the luggage.
Oh.
Too.
Okay.
It's almost like a goose liver. It kind of looks like, not bologna, but it's like a bologna salami thing, but it's got like a white ring around it, or like a square.
Mm-hmm.
I eat that shit. But anyway,
It's got like a rind.
yeah, like a rind.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
some
cool.
country
I've
ass
never
shit,
seen this
bitch.
thing.
Okay, well,
Oh.
but they got back, right?
But it got to Vegas safe and sound, and it was still good.
Oh.
Oh, you know what? I got a question for everybody.
Okay.
Based on everything that you just said about your dad, which I'm so team dad right now because that's awesome. What is a weird thing that you eat that you know that if you ate it like in public or in a group, people would be like, "That's nasty,"
Ooh.
or "What are you doing?" Or if you don't have one, what's a snack that you've seen somebody eat that made you go, "Why?"
I don't know that I eat this in public often, but like if I go to Jack in the Box and it's only Jack in the Box, I order my tacos with pickles on them.
Yeah, you've always done that.
Courtesy of Auntie Joe.
That is so random.
Pig feet. Pig feet. That's
Who
the
eats
one
pig
for
feet?
me. Motherfuckers, straight up out the jar.
They do.
You eat pig feet?
No, not me.
That's
Oh,
what I
you're
was
saying something I
Something
eat?
you.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
saying. Girl, I was like, hold on.
Let's see.
Okay.
I like to have like when I eat a pickle, I like to have Lay's chips with it, just
Oh.
plain Lay's.
I'm gonna
I don't think
I
that's
do like
weird.
pickles and
Yeah.
ranch.
No pickles.
Mhm.
Pickles and ranch? Like you dip the pickle in ranch?
Yes, that's pretty.
Hell yeah, because ranch is the shit.
Yes. I did
Ranch
my
is
onion
the
rings
shit,
and
but
ranch.
not hot pickle.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not
Or
weird.
That's
pizza.
not-
everything goes
ranch
with
on the
ranch.
pizza.
that's not.
Yes.
What do you have?
Crystal knows
What's
what's
something I'm
up.
gonna look at you sideways for?
Yes,
I
ranch
know,
and the
right?
pizza. I get a
asked
lot
the
of
question.
eyes at
I'm
that.
still like, let me think on it.
Yeah, a lot of people look at me weird when I do that.
Ebony and Victoria, you guys go. Actually, even though I asked the question, I didn't have an answer prepared.
I'm
Does
trying
anybody
to
put like
think.
ketchup on meatloaf or ketchup on steak? If I get somebody to do that,
ketchup
I'm pissed.
belongs on meatloaf. Ketchup
Yeah.
belongs
What?
on meatloaf.
Yeah,
Huh?
absolutely.
Every
Barbecue
recipe I've
sauce.
ever looked up for
Yeah.
meatloaf, it has
Most of
ketchup
them do.
in it
Put
or on
gravy
it.
on it.
I use barbecue sauce.
Both, but
Barbecue sauce
that
is good
too.
on
Oh,
top
you
of
said
meatloaf.
great.
But
You said
ketchup,
both?
ketchup is common. Ketchup is common
Okay.
on the meatloaf. On the meatloaf. Steak, no.
Okay.
Go ahead, Victoria. Sounds like you
People
got one.
would look at me in disgust if they watched the way that I eat wings in public.
The way you
How
eat
you
what?
The
what?
way you eat them?
Because I like bathe my wings in ranch. I fucking love ranch,
Yes.
okay?
Oh.
Yes, I love ranch. So
Yes.
the
The
Wingstop
way
is
you
the
eat
best
it.
fucking ranch.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes,
I like
they do.
I like the flats.
Drown your wings. Yes.
Right. So I like flats. And so, you know, when you dip into a ranch cup, you're not gonna get the whole wing
Yeah.
Gotta
drenched
get it
in
now.
ranch. So you gotta spread the
They
love.
really should make like wing size ranch.
Like a bowl.
Like rectangular.
Like
See,
containers.
yes,
Yeah.
I pour
You know?
mine out. I pour mine out so I can lay the
Oh,
flat. 'Cause
that's-
I also like flat, so I can lay it.
That's fine.
Girl. But I'm
And then
still
turn
it's
it.
still gonna be
I
disgusting.
probably would
I'm
have
still
just
gonna smother that
drizzled
shit
it
in
on
ranch.
top or something. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm not drizzling ranch on
Okay,
shit. I'm
Ebony.
gonna smother
No.
that shit.
That wing will drown.
Well, when I say
and
drizzle,
be
I mean
reborn
drown. Yeah.
and eat
Okay,
it.
yeah.
I am the same
Give me
way.
that
Baptize.
ranch.
Yeah,
I'm
baptize.
the same
Like
way.
whenever I go out to
Ebony,
eat,
do
I'm
you
not
have
giving
one?
extra ranch.
I don't. You know, it's something that my mom
Always.
did that I do every once in a while. She puts mustard on her popcorn. Like she dips mustard in her popcorn. It's very interesting. But I don't hate it.
Well, when these people were doing the
Also,
mustard
like-
on the watermelon over the summer, that was pretty gross.
Okay.
Oh, I do.
I
Did
don't-
anybody
I
try
don't-
that?
That's what you do in the South.
I didn't try it,
No.
but that looked nasty.
But I don't know if you guys
You
eat
know,
sloppy joes.
Yeah.
Like
Right?
when
Yes.
I always put mustard
Yes.
on my sloppy joes. And my family think that's weird. They
No.
think it's weird.
No, that is weird.
I just have always
But I love
done it.
mustard anyway.
Flavor
Yeah,
thing.
It's funny.
I don't think mine is super weird, but I do like I'll get like a shake, and it's only if I ever go to McDonald's. I'll get a McDonald's vanilla shake or a McDonald's sundae, and
Which
I'll
is rare
dip
because
my
that ice cream
fries.
machine is always broke.
No,
Life
Yeah,
was hard to do it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
something that I still
yeah.
do even as an adult.
Oh yeah, like
I
Wendy's,
think-
the frosty. with the
Yes.
I do that at Wendy's.
That's the only way I'll eat a Frosty. I think Frosties are gross, but I only like them if there's fries dipped in.
What?
Oh, everybody's mouth is open.
It tastes grainy and weird, and I don't know. I just think Frosties are it's grainy and weird. Frosties are not my
Who's
friend,
making your
except if they are a dip for a fry.
Yeah, where are you getting your frosties from?
Oh my
That's the
But
same
you-
place you get at Wendy's. They
No.
grainy and weird.
Girl,
Frosties.
negative.
Frosties
But
are
you know, the
Negative.
weirdest snack I've ever seen somebody eat was like my mom's coworker. He used to like take raw onion, so he would cut it up thin and he would put it on Ritz crackers
Oh.
and just eat it. And I thought that was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
I know his
Okay, when we were kids, we used to eat like our hot pickle with our icicle.
Mm.
Oh, that's
So that was just to cool our mouth down.
you ate it at the same time. or
It was
you ate
pretty
the pickle
delicious,
and
though.
then.
Not at the same time. Like you take a bite,
Okay.
after you finish.
I grew up.
I have a particularly weird one. Other than
Also,
the
I
fries.
was the kid who definitely took their fruit roll up and rolled it on their finger and ate it. Did y'all do that? I did. Like you take
I
it
used
and
to
you
eat
roll
the
it up and
paper
you put it
with
on
the
your
pixie
pinky, or you be
sticks. That's what I
talking
remember
to
that.
people, you move it around,
Oh,
you
You were
roll it up on your
those.
finger, and it's just on your finger.
I do remember those.
It's just
Okay.
convenient.
Okay.
Does anybody else bite into the string cheese, or do you all pull it apart?
It depends
I
on my
have to
mood.
pull it.
I have to pull it apart.
If it's in that shape.
Sometimes I just want to go for it. No, just don't
Right.
waste your time.
Because if I buy a string cheese, I want to pull it apart. But if I buy or I'll buy the baby bells,
The baby
circles,
bells.
and
The
that'll
baby
just.
bells.
Oh, baby bell now. That's
I tried to buy the string cheese, and I'm just like, ugh, it's too overwhelming.
But it's never a good string, you know. I always end up pulling up
It's all
fatty,
frayed.
fat one or
Oh yeah,
something.
little stragglers. Yeah.
Yeah, little stragglers. So
Gotta work for it.
I say
A snack that I eat that I've been eating since I was a kid. It's just, and I saw my cousins and my sister do this, so now I still do it. It's just like a little tortilla chip, some salsa, some cut up cheddar cheese, and green grapes. And so sometimes I will dip the cheese into the salsa, but sometimes I'll put the grapes into the salsa too. And it's all right.
Wow.
But they gotta be green, huh?
The grapes threw me for a loop.
That is different.
I don't know what it is though. It's like something about the balance of. It's the balance.
Ooh, let's hear it.
What you
I
got?
have one. I think Krystle and I feel like we've had this conversation before because we have in fact been at a Red Lobster several times. When I was little, and I'll still probably do it to this day, I would order applesauce and I would take pieces of my Cheddar Bay biscuit and put it in my applesauce and stir it and eat it.
Yes.
And it was the best tasting thing ever.
Actually, no, I do
That's
that
almost
with
like a potato
sourdough
wrap,
bread.
though.
Sourdough bread and butter, I dip it in applesauce.
Yeah.
That's actually delicious. I learned that from working at the spaghetti factory.
That is different.
I like sourdough bread. I love it.
I
Just
love
butter,
sourdough.
just
Mhm.
cold with butter.
Hot. Melty.
I like that Cheesecake Factory
Oh, well.
bread.
Ooh, Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
That's the best happy hour right
down
there.
lately, though.
You know what? Last
Yeah,
time I went, they let me
the
down
service has
too.
been disappointing. The food,
I'm not gonna lie, I
I'm
rarely
very
actually eat at Cheesecake Factory. Even though they have the most epically
I'm
crazy
obsessed.
menu in the world, it's like a novel.
Yes.
I only go to Cheesecake Factory for cheesecake. I will go to dinner somewhere
Oh,
and then go there for cheesecake. And I don't know why. I've never been that into their food.
So what's your
Everything I've
cheesecake?
ever had, it's just been okay.
Yeah, that's
It depends
what you
okay.
get. Yeah.
What cheesecake do you get?
Oh, well, I'm slowly I'm slowly making my way through the entire menu. I know where I'm at right now. But
Okay.
so far my
There were some people. Yeah, I had to look at it, so I guess I'll end it. But
Hello? Can y'all hear me? Because this is frozen for some reason.
That's what I want for you.
Hello? So let me get off.
you're frozen, but we can hear
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
No. Yeah, I can hear you now. What the fuck? It's something about this hour mark.
Oh, maybe.
Oh.
It's something about this hour mark.
Okay, well, hurry. Go ahead.
Whatever Jess said, I didn't hear her about what her favorite cheesecake was.
We were just about to say what she wishes for Krystle for her next trip around the sun.
Yeah. What do you want for Krystle for her personal new year?
That's what we're
What I
okay.
want is I want you to manifest everything that you want for your life in just in your long-term journey. And I want you to get to the point where you can so clearly see everything that's coming to you, everything in your work, and everything that you didn't even know you asked for. That's what I want.
The meadows.
Yeah, the meadows.
Victoria, you go ahead.
Thank you. I want that one too.
What I want for you is I want success for you, and I want happiness and peace for you. That's what I want for you.
The peace, yes.
I want that for
And
you.
a home, bitch, and a home.
Yes, a home.
Yes.
A home.
I want all of us to be
Hopefully
in
that
Crystal
happens
House
next year.
next year
Yeah.
for your
I'm gonna
birthday.
manifest that.
That's what I want.
Unfortunately, we lost Ebony. Ebony.
There she is.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
Oh, something going around. But
What do you want
thank
for
you all
yourself?
so much.
Yes.
I would like, peace, success. I would like the Meadows to become a reality, and I would like everything to just calm down, and just more time with my friends and my family. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
More time with friends abroad. More time with friends and family in more, in situations that aren't about death or aren't about just more like fun.
Just be intimate.
Yeah.
Outside of major events, you want to.
There you go. More outside of major events.
Yeah.
So,
I keep dropping, but I wanted to say what I wish. I wanted to say what I wish for you. My wish for you. No. I wish for you positivity. And that goes with saying positive energy, being surrounded by people who are going to ground you, and also for you to be able to find the positive light in situations that may seem dark. I feel like as we're getting older, and as you are getting older, you've always been wise, but you're getting wiser. And I just pray for you that this is a year of positivity and growth, and that you constantly remind yourself and put yourself around people who will continue to pour that positivity into you and that encouragement into you, that nothing negative will come your way, and that you'll be able to block it in a healthy way.
Oh,
yeah.
So
that's just what I feel.
I was
Overall
positivity. Overall
positivity.
positivity. Yeah. Thank you guys all so much. I love you all. Thank you all. Like, really, you do some of my best hits, like greatest hits of life. Are here.
No one hit wonders.
For life. No one hit wonders. Greatest hits for life. No one's, okay? So I thank you all, and thank you for joining us on my birthday show. Whoever's listening. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Happy birthday.
Here goes.